All right, guys. So, what do you do when every single job that you're going to apply to over the next couple of weeks, you are competing against 500 other applicants or 600 other applicants? Or if it's a brand name marquee startup that you're applying to, like Shopify or PayPal, you are probably going to be competing against 1,200 other applicants for just one role. What do you do if the odds are stacked against you? And what can you do to give yourself an unfair advantage? Uh, the way to get an unfair advantage when you're job hunting is to not walk through the front door. Every single applicant that is applying for a job at, let's say, Square, is going to be going to the career page and clicking apply and uploading the resume, or one click applying with LinkedIn, or they're stumbling across the job posting on LinkedIn on jobs postings, and with one click they're applying using LinkedIn. But that is going in the top of the funnel. That is the most crowded way in to the interview process. That is walking through the front door. And when you're walking through the front door, by definition, you don't have a competitive advantage. You don't have any unfair advantage. And if you want results in life, you want to give yourself every step of the way an unfair advantage. Startups that win have unfair advantages. Founders that run successful startups have unfair advantages. And you, as a job hunter, need to create some unfair advantages. So I'm here today to show you how to create an unfair advantage, of how to sneak through the back door instead of walking through the front door. The way that you sneak through the back door is by putting yourself in a situation where all your friends can help you sneak through the back door. But most people never do this. They don't either try, or they do try and they don't do it very well. And LinkedIn is full of people that haven't done this very well. Let me share with you what I'm talking about. Let's go to LinkedIn, and we're going to type in the now infamous phrase of laid off. Okay. And we're going to go to posts, and we're going to take a look at what people are saying once they are laid off. Let me find an example. Okay, here's Jaden. I'm going to pick on you, Jaden. And I'm doing this out of love, not because I want to make you feel silly. Um, Alongside a number of colleagues, I laid off from my role. Okay, it's been a great 2 years. You're doing a very good job of being grateful. That is incredibly important to do when you write your post, is come off with graciousness. I've learned a ton throughout my time. Forever grateful. On to my next stage. Okay, you spent a lot of words here accomplishing very little. So, believe it or not, I'm going to teach you and show you a better way to cover this and do it in a super interesting, compelling way that will catch the eyes of people, especially recruiters or hiring managers. If you're looking to hire for sales, care, or success roles, love to connect and chat. Okay, so cool. You did a good job of being concise, although you actually don't want to be concise. What's way more important than being concise is being clear. Clarity trumps persuasion, and clarity is what this post is all about. If you want your friends or your ex-colleagues or your ex-bosses or people you went to college with, or even maybe somebody you've never worked with, maybe it's like some dude that goes to your church, if you want these people to open doors for you, to help you short circuit the application process at any particular company so that you can have an unfair advantage, if you want them to do these things, then you need to give them more clarity. Because if they don't know exactly what kind of role you're looking for, then they don't know whether or not you'd be a good fit for their company, and they could put in a good word with their boss. If they don't know what kind of company you want to join, then they can't very well keep their eyes and ears open for you. If they don't know what makes you above average, then they can't possibly go to bat for you with somebody that they went to business school with and recommend you to join their startup. So that's what this post is all about, is creating clarity so that all the people that you have met along the way can very quickly and very easily go to bat for you, give you an unfair advantage, and sneak you through the back door of some company that they're familiar with. So Jaden, this is a good version 1.0. I'm going to show you how to do version 2.0. In fact, I'm even going to write a post from scratch that would be what I would write if I were you. So you can see what I'm writing, why I'm explaining why I'm writing it, and what the logic behind it is. And then I'm going to show you how I would go about actually posting it and getting good results from it. And let's talk about good results, because it's easy for anybody to pontificate from a soapbox and say, oh, this is how I would do it. But the interesting thing is, I actually have receipts. So let's talk about results. Let's go back in time. Let's look at Justin. When he was laid off 2 years ago, he was laid off with like 6 other engineers from his startup called Parallax here in Minneapolis. And this is what he wrote. I'm going to shut up and let you skim. Okay. So this is detailed. It's also longer, but that's what you want. You want everyone to have a crystal clear idea of what the hell you want to join next. There's a phrase in user experience that webmaster and people that create high performing landing pages and web pages and home pages specifically keep in mind when they are designing things. And that is, don't let the user do any unsupervised thinking. Don't let the user do any unsupervised thinking. When the user or the person reading your site reads it, they should know exactly what is expected of them to do next. They should know where to click. They should know where to give you their information. They should know what the next step is in no uncertain terms. You need to be able to beat them over the head so that a caveman could know what exactly it is that you're looking for and exactly what to do next. Okay? Um, so we're going to go over that in the post. Here's another example. Carolyn was also laid off from a San Francisco, a Bay Area startup a year ago. The words aren't that important and the sentences aren't that important. What is important is a couple key things that she does really, really well. Number one, yes is long, but again, this is what enables, this is what equips everyone in her network to actually go to work on her behalf. It equips them to be able to help her so that she's helping them to help her. Okay. Number one, she breaks paragraphs up very well. Lots of white space. That's good. Number two, good emoji use. You're going to want to use quite a bit of emojis. Maybe you don't like using emojis, especially maybe if you're over 40, you think emojis are the dumbest thing you've ever seen. That might be true, but it doesn't really matter what you think. Emojis help with two things: readability and tone. Okay. Tone, they help to lighten up the post, which otherwise can easily devolve into a very serious sounding post. And number two, readability. We all know that bold and underline help. We all know that bullets help, but emojis help too. And so even if you're not a fan of emojis, I'm telling you that you should use them because it's in your best interest, because it's in the reader's best interest. Okay. So these are some examples. Let's talk about results, by the way. Justin Eater, he wrote this one post and one post only, posted it one time. He got something like 17 inbound. He got 8 interviews and 4 job offers, all from this. And Justin was not well known by any stretch. He was very poorly networked. He didn't go to many events. He certainly didn't speak in any events. He was not any kind of celebrity by any stretch. Odds are he actually had a worse network than what you have. Particularly because the company that was laid off, Parallax, was very small when he was laid off. It was only like, I don't know, 22 employees. And then they laid off 8 people, including him. So it's not like he had this huge swath of people at Parallax that he could lean on to help him find his next thing. But because it was such a well-written post, and because it was clear, it got engagement, meaning people liked, people commented. Look at this number down here, 14 reposts. That is massive. And I'll tell you exactly how you can get that, because everyone can also get 14 reposts on their posts if they want to. And that's how you not just communicate to your network, but you communicate to your network's network and your network's network. The clarity brought results. And so yours can too. Carolyn, same thing. Carolyn, when she wrote this, she wrote one post only, and it resulted in a job. She ended up with multiple interviews. Bharat, who is CEO of Buncha, a venture-backed startup in Minneapolis, ended up interviewing and hiring her as like head of partnerships about 4 weeks later. So this post led to that. Okay. I'm going to show you how to write the post if I were you, and then also what to do once you write the post. Okay. There's a framework that I use. This is the framework. The past was awesome. and I was awesome. The future is full of passion. Engage with me. I know this sounds crazy, but just bear with me. I'll explain this. Both friends and strangers. Okay. I write this just because, much like a writer sits down to write a book or an essay, they might want to create some kind of an outline. This is your outline. Okay. And it's just a good prompt to keep things on track, but also keep the sequence in a manner that actually tells a coherent story and a compelling story. Um, One of the past is awesome. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the last chapter, the chapter that I'm coming off of. I'm starting a new chapter. Well, here's the skinny on the old chapter, but I'm not going to start off the same way everyone else starts off. I'm not going to say last week I was laid off. Okay. The reason why is because of the way LinkedIn works. When you go to LinkedIn, you only get to see a couple lines. Okay. Right here. You only have something like 60 characters in which to make people want to click on this little button here that says more. Where is it? See more. Okay. And so you have to actually write something somewhat non-predictable, or that is not so boring it would put people to sleep after the first 2 seconds. Okay. So I would write something like this. Last year, I helped onboard KFC and Walgreens, and it was pure fire. Okay. I can't wait to help more customers like this, but sadly, it won't be with when I work, period. No, as I was laid off last week with a chunk of my when I work team. Okay. So you're conveying the message that I was laid off, but the first opening line isn't so boring you're putting people to sleep. Okay. I can't wait to help more customers. Okay, there we go. Um, you're going to show graciousness. Okay. Always, always, whenever you're talking verbally, whenever you're talking in an email, whenever you're talking to anything, you're always going to dedicate a line to graciousness. Always. Even if you hated the company and hated your boss, you're going to find something about your experience there that you loved. Okay. If I were a startup, I would consider hiring every one of my ex-colleagues without hesitation. The culture and results that we produced were second to none. Sorry, my typing's so bad right now. It's hard to. Wow. Okay, let's open our console here. It's harder than you might think to think about what you're going to say next while you're typing. I can't chew bubblegum and talk at the same time, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry to break it to you. Okay. Okay, that's it. That's all you need to dedicate to it, and it was helpful. And I was awesome. In my 1.5 years at when I work, I helped ship X. I rolled out a new feature that helped retailers do Y. I perfected, refined the customer success playbook to help keep churn under 5%. Okay. This is important. Okay, I was awesome because when people write that I got laid off from my company, they allocate 0 words, 0 characters, 0 bullets to actually talking about, and here's why you might want to hire me, as if somehow playing the layoff card is sufficient enough. Playing the layoff card is not, in fact, sufficient enough. Because when you are an employer and you now have your pick of tens of thousands of customer success reps, and I'm picking a customer success, but this is applicable to everyone, unless you're a mobile developer, in which case you'll be hired the next day. But if you're not a mobile developer, you're anything else, you are in for a long slog. That is because supply and demand are totally out of whack, and they will be out of whack for the rest of 2023, probably until late first quarter 2024. That's when things will start feeling a little bit like 2021 again. If you don't put forth any bullets as to here's why I'm above average, then who cares if you were laid off? Like, who's going to want to get excited about you? Who's going to want to go to bat for you? And if somebody doesn't know you, wants to reach out to you and say, hey, we're hiring for a bunch of customer success roles right now, who in the right mind is going to want to reach out to you and take the time to DM you or otherwise contact you if there's no signal whatsoever that you're above average? Because keep in mind, I know you hate to hear this, but it's the truth. When a layoff happens often, but not always, I know this isn't true with when I work, because I know that when I work laid off people because the enterprise offering wasn't going at all like they had once hoped it would. So that's a little bit different. But oftentimes in a layoff, they're just getting rid of the low performers. So you need to combat that. You need to counter that and make it clear to people in this post, like, listen, sorry, but I wasn't a low performer. I wasn't lopped off the payroll just because I was in the bottom 10%. So you need to talk about and brag a little bit about what you actually did. Absolutely critical. Don't skip it. The future's full of fashion. ... Okay. Future's full of passion. I'm excited to help solve problems. This is my word. You can feel free to borrow and steal as much of this as you would like. I will not be offended. I will not think less of you. There's no need to reinvent a lot of wheels. So feel free, if you end up writing a post and it looks 90% like mine, that's totally cool. There's a couple things you're going to want to customize too, and I'll share with you what they're going to be. I'm excited to help solve problems in any startup that is, and then here's where you're going to take an educated guess. You're going to take an educated guess based on your experience so far and try to guess what size startup is probably best for you. Any size startup that is 10 to 500 employees. Okay. Maybe you want to make it a little bit broader. Maybe you can be like 1,000 employees. Okay. Regardless, though, you do want to give a little bit of direction. What you don't want is like Cisco or Microsoft reaching out to you because, quite honestly, you suspect or know you're going to be miserable there. And keep in mind, just because they're a big company doesn't mean they're immune from startups, from layoffs too. All the big companies right now are laying off like crazy. So do not equate big company with safety. That is false. It's always been false, and it always will be false. I'm excited to help someone from any startup this town, specifically in the role of customer success manager. You can feel free to do another one as long as it's very, very, very adjacent. If you really want to try to throw your hat in the ring for a management role, know that this is generally not the year to do that. This is not the year to do anything new. This is not the year to step outside the lane that you've been in the last 2 years, that you've established yourself as competent in. But if somehow or another you feel like you've done a lot of things that were already managerial, that were director-like, even though you may not have had the formal title, you can feel free to do it. But the caveat is you have to explain why. I helped onboard, 9 new, and so if you want to actually put forth an offer to the world or a claim to the world that you could step up into a director role this year, you have to have a very strong argument as to why. If you aren't already coming off a director or VP position. If you are in a director or VP position now, then yeah, absolutely list it. Okay, because then the hiring manager or recruiting of another employer is going to be like, yeah, that makes sense. But if you're actually going to try to stipulate that you're ready for director, you have to put forth a very, very strong, compelling reason. Have low expectations, but still worth trying. Okay. But for the most part, most of you are just going to be looking for whatever it is that you just got done doing at when at work or whatever company you were at. Okay. Engage with me. Okay. Please uh, send this to any startup that you think would be a great fit. Also, please repost, or if you worked with me before, and you know what? I totally skipped this. Areas I'm uniquely passionate about are, and then you're gonna list a bunch of things. You can list as many as you want here. Don't feel like you have to limit yourself. Maybe come up with a reasonable limit of 10, but there is no reason why you just need to list two or three and call it a day. Um, let's see here, a couple more. Let's go. I highly recommend that at the very end you throw in something a little offbeat. Okay, you could be put in toboggan racing. You can do like something else like Vindictive Pets. Throw in anything you want. It can be something wacky and clearly meant to be lighthearted. The reason you're going to do this is because you want people to chime in the comments and ask you about it or make a joke about it. This is important because of the platform you're using. You might hate this fact, but at the end of the day, if your LinkedIn post does not get some type of comments, then it will not be seen by as many people. Okay, so it's in your best interest to create a little bit of whimsy or wackiness in your post that might lead to people commenting. Commenting means visibility. You can hate this fact, but it doesn't matter. This is how every algorithm works, and that is engagement gets better results for you. So go ahead and list out as many areas as you want. It can even be a hot area like AI. Um, Try not to list crypto, even if it is a passion of yours. Most crypto companies aren't hiring right now, and it's something of a negative signal to a lot of employers, enough employers where I would be very selective as to where you talk about your crypto passion. The crypto industry as a whole has something of a black eye, and rightfully so. So it doesn't really do you be selective as to where you talk about your crypto passion. Um, all right, engage with me. Please send us any startup you think would be a great fit. Also, please repost. If you work with me, feel free to chime in. Again, what you're doing is you're asking people to use the comment section. It's there. Please use it. And you're telling them exactly how they can use it. Okay? Also, this is both strangers and friends. Also, if you'd like to chat with me, there's a Calendly link in the comments below. Anyone that wants. Okay. This is how I talk. You can go ahead and use your own type of language. Although I would encourage you to write like you talk. And then here's what's going to happen. We're going to open. First of all, we're not done yet. I'm going to get rid of my headers. Okay. I don't want them accidentally be in there, even though if they are in there, it's actually not that bad of a thing. They act almost like uh, chapter titles. Boy, I'm really struggling here with my mouse. Okay. I'm going to create a little bit of spacing here in between categories, in between topics. Okay. And now we're going to do emojis. So this post is going to take you a good 30 minutes to write, but it should. It's going to be the most important post you write probably of your career. Okay. This is where you start cranking in some emojis. Okay. And how you do it is up to you. This is your style. This is your personality. Whoops, I don't want that. I want the emoji. But how you do this is up to you. But I'm going to continue doing this because I want you to see what your finished product can and should look like. Okay. Instead of bullets, always try to find something better than bullets. How do I get rid of this stupid preview thing? Okay, stay tuned. Even the tech guy has tech issues, guys. All right. Where am I? Okay, job, roles, titles. Titles are so important. So, Jaden, when I was picking apart your post, this is where I feel like you left a huge void. Don't let the user do any unsupervised thinking. They should know exactly what role on a career page is a fit for you. Okay. Almost done, guys. Don't worry. Hang in there. I promise this is worth it. I promise this will be a post that will lead to options. It will lead to doors opening for you. It will lead to your inbox getting some action over the next couple of weeks other than templated auto responses from all the employers that you're applying for. Okay. Please send it in. Here we go. Also, I can get rid of this heading. I'm going to put in a heart here. Actually, I'm going to do a, because this is about, here we go. I'm going to do a heart. Since this is a plea from your heart. Okay. There we go. This is it, guys. This is it. This is the post that will get you interest. Okay. That will help you sneak in the back door instead of walking through the front door. All right, here we go. Next up, I'm not going to hit post. I'm going to go over to buffer.com and I'm going to create an account. I'm going to spare you showing you how to create an account, but it's free. Free. And you connect your LinkedIn account, free. Let's get out of here. Let's go back to Buffer. Okay, hang tight. I'm going to pause. And nope, I'm not going to pause. I think I have to create a new account. No, I don't. Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to click on over here. I have two accounts because I have this little business that I run called Enterprise Rising Conference, and I used to use Buffer, but I don't anymore. But Buffer's perfect for you right now and for the next couple months. I'm going to click on my LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn account that I've already connected. I'm going to click on Create Post. Okay. I'm going to go back to my LinkedIn. I'm going to Control A. I'm going to go back to Buffer, and I'm going to post it. I'm going to clean up the formatting because formatting always gets a little wonky when you're copying and pasting. You might want to sit on this for 20 minutes, leave your computer, come back, and then read it again and see if you feel like there is anything that from your first draft you thought was unnecessary or just completely too wordy, something that you use 40 words to say, but you could have done it in 20. Okay, here we go. You could really, it's almost impossible to have too much spaces. You want to break this out and make it very readable. Okay. I don't particularly know whether or not having an image would help. It's up to you. If you want to use an image, go for it. Knock yourself out. But for the sake of simplicity, right now, I'm just showing you what you need to know. You can bolt on extras if you want. I'm not going to add to queue. I'm just going to go down to schedule post. And here's what you're going to do. You're not going to blast it out right now today. You're going to wait till tomorrow. Okay? Because morning is going to be best. You're going to shoot for 6 a.m. or thereabouts. Sorry, my mouse is pretty wacky today. All right. I'm going to do 6:22. Close enough. A.m. Okay? I'm going to schedule it. Okay? Then I'm going to schedule it again. So I'm going to schedule it about 5 days apart. So I'm going to do like every Tuesday and Thursday, or every Monday and Friday, or every Tuesday and Friday. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what days you pick. All you want is to do it twice. So I'm going to go down here again. I'm going to go to once again. I'm going to find a way. I'm not sure how it is because it's been a long time since I've used Buffer, but delete, edit, share now. There is a way to schedule it for multiple days. I just don't quite know what that is right now, but there is a way to do it. So worry not. You can go ahead and set it up and forget it. Here's what you're going to want to keep in mind, though. You're going to want to go over to your Google Calendar, pick a time. If you're going to have it published at 6 a.m., it's in your best interest to wake up shortly thereafter, 6:05, 6:10, and chime in the comments and leave a Calendly link. Remember we talked about a Calendly link? Okay, let's talk about that because that's your call to action. This post is Calendly. Where am I? This post is your landing page. It is the springboard on which anybody that wants to help you or get in contact with you can help you or get in contact with you. So you're going to probably create a Calendly account because you probably don't have one yet. Okay. It will automatically integrate with your calendar, which is exactly what you want. So if some recruiter at startup A, B, and C wants to like hop in and jump on a quick call with you, then they can. Okay. Hire Casey Allen. I'll just be cute about it. Let's get straight to the point. No point in hemming and hawing. I'm going to be realistic about like when my brain is functioning. Okay. If my brain doesn't function until like 10 a.m., then so be it. Like there's no point in forcing yourself to jump on a 15-minute call with a recruiter from PayPal at 8:15 if like you're brain dead and you're not going to put your best foot forward. Okay. Vice versa. Like there's no point in like trying to do a 15-minute phone call with somebody that's interested in hiring you, somebody from like Robert Half or something like that. If you know you're going to be on the road after picking your kid up from daycare. So be practical, be realistic about this. Okay. Personalized experience. What am I? I'm interviewing, scheduling. This is this Calendly, just like wondering like how you're using this. Okay. A couple things. Number one, I'm going to edit this because this is what shows up in my calendar and their calendar, and I want to make it a little bit more clear. So 15-minute Zoom with Casey Allen. I can even do career Zoom with Casey Allen. Okay. We're going to do Zoom. I'm going to connect my Zoom account later. Many of you probably don't even have a Zoom account, so this will be a good first time that you actually do it. I'm going to do 15. And then last but not least, I'm going to add one more. Let's see, where do I do this? Somewhere. I'm going to add another question. They have to put in their name, their email. I'm also just going to ask them point blank, like, your company. So I don't have to like do all kinds of homework. I just want you to tell me point blank, what company are you with or representing? Okay. A lot of people are going to use this, by the way, like friends, just to catch up, ask you questions like, hey, what kind of stuff are you looking for? Or I've got this opportunity. Do you think it's interesting to you? Like this is your opportunity to make it super duper simple with very little friction for anybody and everybody that wants to help you to do so. Okay. So this is how you do it. Somewhere here, I totally skipped the whole, like, I actually have to make it 15 minutes. Here we go. Duration. 15 minutes. There we go. 15 is actually the right amount. You can do 30 perhaps if you really, really want to. Maybe you experiment with this for a while and you find 30 minutes probably does better. You don't have to get super fancy with this. Don't worry about being fancy. It's just about getting a link that you can share. Okay. And then once this post on Buffer in the morning at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., I would try not to post it later than 8 a.m. It gets lost in the clutter and the messiness and the noise. So 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. especially has a better chance of reaching people before they get sucked into the vortex of their inbox and other things. So it's very quickly, especially on their mobile phone, they can quickly like or comment or share on their mobile phone before they get to the office or before they sit down at their desk and actually start grinding away. So early in the morning is good. But again, you're going to want to do it at a time where if you set it up to post at 6:22, I would create some kind of an alarm or a calendar event for myself on my personal Gmail to be like, okay, it's 6:23, comment on LinkedIn post, okay? And then on comment on LinkedIn post, what I would do is go over to my LinkedIn post, and then I'm going to use somebody else's LinkedIn post. I would say, want to chat? This is me commenting on my own LinkedIn post. Feel free to grab time to Zoom so that we can talk about the future. There we go. Boom. And I hit post. And that way, anybody that stumbles across your post, whether they're a friend or a colleague or an ex-boss or an ex-colleague, and they're like, okay, well, this is cool. Casey wrote this post. He was pretty clear and upfront and pretty unvague about what he's looking for. I think there's a role internally that might be a good fit for him, but gee, I really don't know. Maybe I should just grab time with him and I can run it by him and see what he thinks. This call to action of grab a 15-minute call with me is going to be so clarifying, and it's going to lead to not just opportunities, but opportunities that already have a good chance of converting. I mean, think about it. When somebody grabs 15 minutes with you, I mean, they're pretty motivated. They're clearly think you're a good fit, and they clearly think they have something that is a good fit for you. So these are the kind of things that most job hunters that just got laid off never think of or never do. But it's an excellent, excellent use of your time. This is not 15 minutes talking with some rando about some random topic. It's 15 minutes talking to somebody that's very, very targeted and very motivated about a very targeted and motivated topic, which is you. And you working for their company or a company they represent or a company that they are familiar with or a company that their neighbor's cousin's ex-wife works for. So then you are going to let this run 2 times a week for the as long as you want. Listen, guys, at the end of the day, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, like, oh my gosh, twice a week, like people are going to get sick of seeing this. No, let me tell you why that's false. Number one, your friends want the reminders. They want to know that Casey is still unemployed and still looking for something, and they want to know exactly what he's looking for. They need the reminder, they need the nudge, and quite honestly, they'll appreciate the hustle. Like, I'd be pissed if my friends were like lazy and not really trying hard to find their next thing. So by posting it twice a week, they're going to be thankful. Number two, let's be honest, they're not even going to see many of your posts. Because of the algorithms, most of your connections and most of your followers are simply not going to see a majority of your posts. So they might see one here and one there, but it's not like they're going to be logging in every day and seeing 2 posts every 4, spread out 3 or 4 days from each other all the time. They're just not going to see it. It's not the way the algorithm works. When you hit publish on a post, like a tiny, tiny fraction of your followers are actually going to see it. So twice a week is necessary. Twice a week is important. Twice a week is in your best interest. But most importantly, you are helping your friends help you. There you go, guys. 30 minutes to write this post, set it up, and forget about it. Keep hunting, keep working, but this is how you make it work for you. This is how you create your Archimedes lever that's going to do a lot of work for you. You aren't being annoying. You don't have to cold email anyone, although there's nothing wrong with cold emailing employers, but you don't have to do that. This is how you short circuit the interview process so that you're not going in the top of the funnel by applying on the career page. You're not competing with 500 applicants. Instead, you're short circuiting the first 1 or 2 steps of every interview process and hopefully going straight to the hiring manager or the VP and having a conversation with them. And that's how you take your odds from 1 in 500 to 1 in 10. I hope this was helpful. Feedback welcome. Criticism welcome. And I wish you the very best as you go forth and help your friends help you find your next thing.